Today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks on how to deal with burnout. Welcome to Complete Connect. So welcome, my name is Daniel Freisch, and the first thing that we're going to do today is identify exactly what are we talking about? What is burnout? So the answer to that is that in 1974, it was coined by Herbert Freudenberger. It's basically a prolonged exposure to work where the work outweighs your mental and physical capacity to deal with the work. A few little misnomers. Burnout, while technically usually is an overabundance of work and there's too much going on, so it doesn't always have to meet that criteria. Burnout can also be caused by being undervalued at work over a long period of time, and that can cause its own kind of mental, emotional types of stress, or not being challenged enough, where maybe you're valued, but the job doesn't actually give you enough. So burnout is actually much more complex than people usually assume to begin with. A lot of the quote-unquote symptoms for burnout, the stages of burnout might look like the compulsion to prove oneself. You might be working harder than you need to. You might start to neglect your personal needs, start to get mad at people when they're not actually the cause of your irritability. So the anger is displaced in some way. You might work and exclude everything else from your life. You might not even be accepting that you're having the beginning stages of workout because you're denying everything. Withdrawal is definitely a symptom. People start to self-medicate, maybe, marijuana, alcohol, other drugs. Other behavioral changes can usually be seen depersonalization, which is when you can't even connect with what you need yourself. You might start to feel a sense of inner emptiness. Basic depression and anxiety start to really show. These are elements of what's called burnout syndrome. It's important to note at this point whether you're actually having burnout or whether you have pre-existing depression and anxiety, which can worsen burnout, but they're two different things. Burnout can have symptoms of depression and anxiety, but the cause is from the burnout, whereas the depression and anxiety can have a multitude of causes, which could increase the burnout symptoms or cause burnout to come on more quickly. But what causes the original depression and anxiety are different. So first tip is going to be, it's going to sound ridiculously simple and easy, and it's like, why have I been doing this? But stop. Take a break, okay? Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Let your shoulders drop. It's important to take a step away from your work. So the reason for burnout is because there's an overabundance of stress. Taking a step back away from these stressful environments, stressful thoughts, realizing that they are not the be-all and end-all of your world, although they may feel like it in the moment, is a really important first step to take when dealing with burnout. I'm putting this out there and it sounds simple as I say it. It's not. Especially for anybody who's ever experienced burnout, which I have experienced burnout, to really be able to put that boundary in a really good, safe way, but really stepping away. You're not taking phone calls. You're not doing meetings. You're not looking at your phone. You're not answering emails because this is the time just for you. We are animals. We were designed to be in nature, not in these artificial constructs, if you will, of concrete and granite and wood and whatever. We were originally designed to be outside. So go outside, get sunshine. It is essential to get vitamin D, and it can help just to let the wind blow in your face and experience, the sounds of nature. It all of a sudden drops all of your stress levels when you're in nature. So it's really fundamental to get outside, to get into nature. And this is another step that can help to alleviate burnout. This one is not in a particular order. You don't have to do the first one first or this one last, but absolutely go and talk to your supervisor. If you're starting to experience burnout, if you have ideas on how to mitigate burnout for the rest of the team, one of the best ways is to have a work environment that actually doesn't feel stressful, that feels cooperative, and where people have meaning. And all of a sudden, even if it's a busy day, it doesn't feel like a stressful day because you're doing this as a team. We need to take a moment and find a way of doing this job in a way that's actually constructive. Not only constructive so that we put out a great product as individuals, as human beings, but also constructive so that when we leave, we feel fulfilled, we don't feel overly stressed, and the entire system will continue to function, and the cogs in the wheel, i.e. us, aren't falling down by the wayside. Step 4, and there's a being present to other things outside of work. This is really getting in deeper. So getting to do some mindfulness practices, meditation, being in this moment, getting involved in some kind of exercise like yoga, or even if it's weightlifting, or going to an exercise class where you're surrounded by other people, really getting out of an isolated state and being with others, and then being with friends, being with family, interacting, and really remembering that the world outside of work is what you're living for. You're not living for work. Work is an aspect of life, and it's an important one, and it's great that you enjoy it, but it can't be the be-all and end-all. Step 5, work with a professional to help mitigate burnout before it ever becomes a problem. Look for the indicators. Are more people starting to show the indicators that I mentioned at the beginning of this video? Because if they are, it's really important to get out burnout before it becomes burnout, rather than waiting for people to burn out and then trying to figure out what to do. Now, if you're already at that stage, it's not too late. You can always get people back into a good rhythm and figure out a way so they stop burning out. All right. With that being said, my name is Daniel Freisch. This is Complete Connect. Check out some of my other videos, like this video, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Much love to you all, and I'll see you next time.